real reason that you don't have the money, the health, the relationship that you want yet isn't because you're manifesting wrong or you don't want it bad enough. It actually has nothing to do with the manifestation hacks that you see online. It has everything to do with the subconscious belief system. Your subconscious is constantly running in the background. It is your computer system, and it knows every imbalance, including negative beliefs, that is stored within your system, and that is what you attract. You attract what you are. So that begs the question, how do our subconscious belief systems form, and how do we create new ones? Our subconscious, a huge part of it is formed from ages 0 to 7. And during this time, we're figuring out how we relate to the world, our parents, the world around us, and we're making everything mean something about us. And sometimes it's working for us, and sometimes it's not working for us. So trauma can play a huge role in the subconscious belief systems that form. And trauma doesn't have to be this big bad thing. The crazy thing is, we can have good trauma that affects the belief system. For example, let's say I was a kid and I won the spelling bee and I got so much attention, it was an overwhelm to my nervous system for that big win, and that attention in my little kid brain might have meant like love and belonging and good things. And so then the subconscious creates a belief system around that, such as I have to do good and win to receive love, okay? So I say trauma just being an overwhelm to the nervous system. So we create all these different beliefs from the emotional experiences we have. How do we uncover what beliefs are not working for us and actually blocking us from receiving the life that we want? So first things first, notice the patterns. Notice where your money gets capped. Notice the relationship patterns that are on repeat. Notice the type of people that trigger you, okay? So everything, your patterns and your triggers are simply a compass to show you what subconscious belief systems are running in the background. And since we create those subconscious belief systems emotionally, we have to heal, excavate the emotional baggage associated with them. You can think of a subconscious belief like, think of like a tree. That tree trunk is that core belief. And the root system is all the emotional experiences you had that validated that belief. And it can get really tricky and make you feel trapped because our beliefs create our experience, and then our experience validates that belief. So, we can definitely get stuck in the victim mindset that way, saying like, no, but see, this always happens to me, or my relationships always end this way, or, I always have something come up that doesn't allow me to make the money, okay? We can always find excuses, but at the end of the day, you are in the driver's seat of your life. The excuses will always be there, but they don't have to be, because your subconscious beliefs can be rewritten to attract exactly what you truly desire and want. Maybe you have little things. Ever notice like little things that really actually work for you? Like I always get a parking spot, or that's just like a simple example, right? If you believe, your beliefs are always showing you what you believe. So how do we start excavating the negative beliefs that are no longer serving us? Find the emotional charge. And before we find an emotional charge, at the foundation of that is we have to have a mind-body connection. So until we're able to feel into it, name the emotion, we aren't going to be able to excavate that root system to get to the core belief. So creating a mind-body connection is the first step. Second step is we start to identify the emotions associated with it. For example, let's say it's a relationship pattern. I always attract emotionally unavailable partners. Let's just say that's just an example. It's not true anymore. So if that's an example, I would start to look at where I learned this. Now, from childhood, it often is associated with a parent wound. And this isn't to say our parents are bad people, right? Our parents were doing the best that they could with what they knew, and they learned their patterns from their parents and so on, right? So this isn't a dig on parents. It's simply uncovering our true nature. So if I have a pattern that I always attract emotionally unavailable men, and then I look back at my emotional experiences, maybe I see, well, my dad, this is just an example, left my family when I was 7. And so that created an emotional experience. And the subconscious, the protective personality, made it mean something about you. And so then you may go on to attract partners that reflect that wound to you. And that wound is what's calling out to be healed. So in order to do that, to get to the root of it, we would feel into the emotions that you experienced, in the example that I experienced at that age 7. And we would go through a process where we bring up those emotions, process them, heal. Forgiveness is always the answer. We have to forgive. That's how we work through the parent wounds. We can do a whole other video on parent wounds, okay? This is just an example. So we work through getting the emotional charge out. And then once the emotional charge is out, we rewrite the story. We adopt a new truth, a spiritual truth that is in alignment with our higher selves. So that creates peace and removes the emotional charge, inner peace. And then we can start to shift our identity around that, around what we are worthy of, what we can attract. So it's always a subconscious identity shift. And at the end of the day, all those experiences that are making up your subconscious belief system and blocking you, they don't mean anything about you. And what I mean by that is your true divine nature is unpenetratable by those experiences. You cannot take away your true divine nature, who you truly are and what you are truly worthy of. But this is like soul retrieval work. We are responsible to heal those wounds, because hurt people, right? You've hurt people, I've hurt people, people have hurt us. It's part of the human experience. And so when we can move forward with a little more compassion on the human experience and start to understand what makes us the way we are, why we operate the way we operate, and understand others, it's easier to have compassion. And compassion is the bridge to forgiveness, and forgiveness is the ultimate antidote to letting go and becoming unattached and not taking things personal. All right, I hope this is all making sense and helping you. If you would like to dive deep into the subconscious and uncover what beliefs are actually blocking you from receiving more wealth, more love, more abundance, leave a comment. Let me know, and I can send you my free training that will be out soon. You can join the waitlist for that free training. All right, you guys, I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll see you in the